talking not just one state, but two states. While on one hand in Maharashtra, it seems to be a thumping majority for BJP-led alliance. In Jharkhand, the incumbent JMM government may stay as per early trends. I also want to highlight the GIFT Nifty position, which is up 190 points after these early results are there. I want to go across to two our eminent guests, Smita Gupta and Ajay Bagga. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. First question to you, Mr. Bagga. GIFT Nifty has already given an indication. Do you think this will hold on Monday?
Yeah, I think it will. There is an immediate impact. It is not a very lasting impact we have seen of the state elections, but immediately it does impact. What are the ramifications of the results? One, there is continuity of policy in a state which is having $470 billion of GSDP. It is an important state for India. It houses the commercial capital as well. So there is policy continuity. Second, as we saw after the Haryana elections, in the morning when the results were as per what the exit polls were showing with a Congress sweep, the markets were hardly moving. But when the results reversed and we saw BJP retaining Haryana, the markets went up. So out here, it was thought that it would be a very close contest, but it is looking like a two-thirds majority for the BJP alliance, and markets will welcome that. But again, I'm saying it's a short-term impact that we see. And the third big thing is the ramifications for foreign investors. They will look at political stability at the center because a coalition alliance has won one of the major seats. So the Modi government has proved its credentials in leading a coalition alliance to victory, and that helps strengthen the credentials of his central government for the next 5 years. So foreign investors would be looking at this as a boost of confidence in the Indian central government as well.
Smita, I would want to come to you and ask about a symbolic question on symbols. What has happened in Maharashtra? All the parties who were contesting last time, on those symbols are there on one side, and the new symbols were there on the other side. Do you think that could have been a reason for for the results which we are seeing right now, the early indications?
Are you asking me?
Yes, Smita.
Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, this is the second election actually, because in the general elections also the same symbols were used. Uh, but I think the Mahayuti had the advantage of being in power, you know, because for instance, if you take the program that the Mahayuti had for women, it was able to, because the BJP is in power at the center, they were able to get the election commission to postpone the elections by a few months, which gave it the time to, increase that allowance for women for a 4 or 5 months. It went up from 1,000 rupees to 1,500 rupees a month. And as we have seen, welfare schemes for women have been working very well on the ground. In the Madhya Pradesh elections earlier in the year, we saw a women's program turn the results around. And if we now look at Jharkhand today, similarly, there it is, though it is it's a non-BJP alliance, they have also used the Mukhyamantri Maiya Samman Yojana over there very effectively. They also increased, they gave 1,000 rupees a month. They have promised 2,500 rupees if they come to power. And there we can see that in Jharkhand, it is the Soren led alliance, which is ahead. So I don't think, I think this time the symbols may not have been, I mean, people would have surely have got used to the symbols. The mistakes that people may have made in the last election, I can't say that that the results are because of the confusion in the symbols.
More data, more research will be needed for that. But Mr. Bagga, On the promises part, Mahayuti had promised about few of the straight cash benefit transfer like Ladki Behan Yojana. Do you think that these kind of schemes always strike the chord with the voters?
Ankur, especially after the COVID, the kind of K-shaped recovery we had. So people without assets and people without a direct job or in the unorganized sector have lost out a lot. And these kind of safety nets are very critical. I think it's needed in a poor country like India, where you have the last few deciles, say the last 30% of the population really appreciates something like this. So it resonates. And as Smitaji was saying, across states, right from Madhya Pradesh to today, we have seen in Maharashtra and Jharkhand, these kind of welfare measures have really resonated. And what the exit polls were showing that there was a greater participation of women voters this time around, and the ruling dispensation had nearly a 3% higher vote. We have a winner take all kind of a voting system. I don't think the vote difference will be that huge with respect to what the seat difference is coming. But the women voters might have made a big difference, as we saw in Madhya Pradesh earlier as well, where Shivraj Singh Chauhan did a very successful safety net, move similar to what Maharashtra also introduced. So this could have been a game changer between the Lok Sabha election and these assembly elections.
Right. I also want to draw attention towards the bipole early indications, which were also happening simultaneously with the state assembly. And the early trends indicate 6 out of 9 seats in Uttar Pradesh, BJP alliance is leading, while in Wayanad, 1.5 lakh vote lead is there in the favor of Priyanka. So, what is your take as far as the indications from these bipoles are concerned, Smita?
Well, in UP, it shows that the BJP has made some recovery because if you'll recall in the Lok Sabha elections, the BJP really did very, very poorly compared to the last elections. And it was the results in UP in a way that contributed to the fact that the BJP did not have enough seats to form a government on its own at the center. So there has been some recovery. But the fact that the SP is still leading in 3 shows that it's still in the game. Uh, the fact that Priyanka Gandhi is winning in Wayanad, it was expected, but nevertheless, it's a plus for the Congress party because, when Priyanka Gandhi comes to parliament, hers will be a very important voice in the Congress ranks. As we all know, we have seen her over the years. She is a very vocal person. So it will add to the Congress's strength, not only in terms of numbers, but in terms of a voice in parliament. The other states, if you could tell me what the results are, then I would be able to comment.
Why not? That is also that is the only other trend which is available right now. Yes. So, Smita, one more question on that front. While bipole have different kind of scenarios, it is not the same intensity which they have fought. It is not the same scenario like state or general elections. But still, there are few key takeaways always.
Yeah, there are a few, certainly, because in this election you have 46 assemblies constituencies across 13 states. So that will give you an indication across the country. It includes key states, not like UP and Assam. Assam, there are 5 assembly segments that have gone to the polls. So yes, they will be an indication, and taken with, say, the results in Maharashtra, which of course is one of the most important states in the country, not only because of its size, but also because of its economic strength. It will strengthen the BJP at the center, and it will help the party to further the kind of things that remain on its agenda. It's been talking about one election, one nation. It's been talking about the Uniform Civil Code. This time they promised in Maharashtra that they're going to have an anti-conversion law. Maybe they will expand it elsewhere. So it certainly strengthens the BJP at the center. And and simultaneously it affects the India bloc led by the Congress party, because the Maharashtra elections seem to be a repeat of what happened in Haryana just a few months ago. In Haryana, the Congress, everybody thought, was going to win, but the BJP managed to correct the make the sort of a course correction since the Lok Sabha elections. It consolidated the anti-Jat vote and won. And perhaps when the Maharashtra results are analyzed, we will probably see that there has been a consolidation of the OBC vote against the Marathas. It's sort of a consolidation of the anti-Maratha vote. So, which of course, this is something that the BJP has done in other states as
Right,
well,
right.
effectively.
Right,
So,
point well taken, Mr. Bagga. I also want to understand you about the larger scenario. BJP here has promised 25 lakh jobs in Maharashtra if they come to power. Now, overall employment scenario has already been in question if you see the whole India's story. Uh, with these kind of guarantees which is given in Maharashtra, do you think in the central level also the employment generation per se will improve?
Very difficult, Ankur. That's a very difficult job, and no government can really create that much. If anything, we need an Argentina kind of libertarian model where government jobs are reduced. The government expenditure is already too high. So, for the government to guarantee jobs and all, these are part of the manifestos only. There is very little follow through. There is a central government scheme now for internships for skilling, but the job creation will have to happen by private enterprise. So the move on MSME credit is very laudable, where the government is nudging banks to lend more to the MSMEs. We already have a scheme since the COVID days, which has worked very well. I think those will be few of the things, but for a government to create 25 lakh jobs, will be difficult. The good news is states like Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Andhra, which are very welcoming to wealth creators, they are able to attract a lot of projects, and that will happen. And Maharashtra enjoys, a stature. Just to give you an idea, Ankur, if you take the GSDP of Maharashtra, it would be the 31st biggest country in the world economy wise. Like California would qualify as the fifth or sixth economy in the world. Maharashtra is the 31st biggest. It's bigger than Pakistan, it's bigger than Bangladesh, it is double of a New Zealand or a Greece or bigger than Norway and Denmark. That is the scale of a Maharashtra, and that is the potentiality. If this 500 billion you can take to a trillion over the next 3 4 years, you can really generate a lot of employment, but it won't be coming from the government. Government policies will help create jobs, but governments can't create jobs.
Want to draw your attention towards the farm loan waiver. Now, this has been a promise which is continuing for all the political parties, whether BJP or Congress. But at the same time, the questions have already been raised whether or not these kind of schemes should be given because it spoils the discipline. Don't you think so?
Who is that question for?
Mr. Bagga, I'm asking you whether or not
Okay.
farm loan
Yeah,
waiver
yeah.
is an even kind of promise which is given by both the parties, whether BJP or Congress. What is your take on that?
See, it's a politically expedient way of telling people that I'll put more money. But what that does is, you see how the microfinance companies are really suffering. It destroys the credit culture because one person doesn't pay in the village, they go and tell everybody else that don't pay. So there is a big moral hazard, a big adverse adverse selection that starts happening. So credit-wise, it's very debilitating for banks. On one side, RBI has put very onerous burden on banks for priority sector lending and farm lending, and then political parties go and give this kind of a waiver, but there is no talk of who will fund it. So the need more is the farm sector reforms, which unfortunately could not be communicated well enough. And a couple of states, a distribution chain, hijacked the agenda and the farm reforms really failed. But if you look at the root cause, is the farm reforms. If the farmer gets
Right, Mr.
an
Bagga.
all India market.
Right, very valid point. Smita, I would want to take a final word from you regarding the scenario which is there in Jharkhand and also Maha Vikas Agadi's stage right now, if these trends are to be believed, in Maharashtra. What has worked there and what has not worked here?
Well, in Maharashtra, I think what didn't work is that the three parties that are part of the Mahavikas Aghadi did not work well together. Uh, Secondly, I don't think they put in the kind of hard work that the other side put in. But it is also a fact that in Maharashtra, among the many things that have worked for the BJP alliance, one thing that did also work very well for it was the Hindutva factor, where the Union Home Minister promised an anti-conversion law. The BJP set up a group called the Hindu Sahel Samaj, which had these love jihad rallies all over and slogans of batenge to katenge. In Jharkhand, I think the fact that Hemant Soren, who was a chief minister who was in jail, he came back. So there was a sympathy factor for him. B, over there also, the BJP attempted the same kind of, communal politics. But what was interesting is that when the BJP tried to convert a land dispute into an infiltration issue, and even made videos to publicize that, when they went to the election commission, which usually never works in favor of any other party except the BJP, actually took action and banned those videos. So the BJP failed in Jharkhand to communalize the election. So I think one was Hemant Soren's return. The second was the fact that they were not able, the BJP was failed to communalize the election. And the third was that Hemant Soren also had his own program, welfare program, the Mukhyamantri Maya Saman Yojana, which, and his promise of waiver of pending electric bills and agricultural loans.
Right, right. Thank you so much, Mr. Bagga and Smitaji, for this interaction. And while the counting is still underway, the early trends are indicating a clean sweep in Maharashtra for BJP alliance and in Jharkhand.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.